Happy New Year! Welcome to our first play space of 2021. I'm Keith Avalone from Play Games. Sam is, as usual, running the production aspect. And hope you had an excellent holiday season. And we enjoyed our break. Hope you enjoyed your time together with your family and friends. And now it's time to move on to the new year, 2021. This is our first look broadcast. We'll be talking about what we're going to be doing in 2021, what we're planning on doing in 2021. But before we do that, our first thing we want to do is thank everybody for all the support and encouragement we got in 2020. It was a tough year, obviously, and the less said about it, the better, right? So thank you for your help. Thank you for your support, your encouragement. We got so many great emails and calls and letters, and we're just really appreciative of all the support that we received from the community in 2020. Now let's move on to 2021. Lots of big stuff happening, as we've been alluding to in our year-end newsletter and in the various Facebook pages and forums and media outlets. Let's talk about the routine stuff first. Let's start with our card set releases. We're planning on having all the usual pro season updates that we typically do, with the exception of MLS and the Canadian Football League. Of course, the CFL didn't even have a season, so there's no card set to make for that. MLS, pretty much the same thing. We talked about, David Gambrell and I talked back when we did our Grey Cup broadcast last fall about possibly doing some sort of a 2020 what-if season for the CFL, for Cold Snap. Not sure if that's going to happen. I'm thinking it probably won't. David's been really busy working. He's working on a novel in addition to doing his full-time job. So, I'm not expecting that we're going to do that, but that is a possibility. The other seasons, however, should go on as scheduled. Our fictional sets will also be coming out, with the 2021 Scram season being the first new fictional release for 2021, coming out in about 3 weeks. We also have 2021 Baseball America, and we're planning on a 2021 Football America season as well. Aside from the usual releases, and the usual releases will come at the usual times. We'll have baseball in the spring, probably March. We will probably release Baseball America and the MLB season at two different times, but they'll be within 3-4 weeks of each other in February, late February, probably early March, or early April. Football is always in July. We'll have the 2020 NFL season in July. Hockey will be happening, we expect, in October again this year, depending on how the season plays out there. I know they just started their new season. It's going to be kind of compacted, but obviously we'll have pretty much the same releases in the same order at the same times. Aside from the usual pro season releases, we have some special releases planned. We're going to do another Cooperstown collection, another Cooperstown installment, the Cooperstown Hopefuls. These are guys that are hoping to get into the Hall of Fame someday, or maybe we're kind of overlooked, and for some guys that window of opportunity kind of closes. So we'll probably include some of those guys as well who had a shot, didn't make it, could have made it. So the Cooperstown Hopefuls will be coming out in May. Course Collection 16 for History Maker Golf is scheduled for June. We also have a set of Decade Stars for golf that are coming out. David Gray is helping me with that. We are planning on having Decade Stars for the 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s for golf. They'll be along the same lines as the All-Time Greats golf set, which in terms of number of golfers, about 100 golfers in each set, the top 100 from each decade. And we will probably release those in stages, with one set coming in July and another set coming in December. I'm not sure whether we'll start early and go late or start late and go early, but we'll have two different releases of the Decade Stars for golf coming later this year. We have a vintage set for Red, White, and Blue Racing. We're going to do the 1992 season. Jerry Minks and I have been working back and forth on that for the past month or so. Really exciting season. Probably, if you ask NASCAR fans what was the best season in the history of NASCAR, probably the majority would say the 1992 season. So we're really excited to put that out in August. We also have our second college football Colossus series. We will focus on teams from before 1980, and it'll be a similar size, 16 teams, and that will be coming out in the fall, September, College Football Colossus 2. Also hoping to have a vintage hockey set late in the year. And kind of torn between whether we're going to do a 97. We've actually had quite a few people suggest that great Colorado Avalanche season when they first moved to Denver, and it was, I believe, 95. But there's also been some interest in doing like some 50 seasons or maybe 70 seasons. So we're undecided as to what the vintage hockey season will be, but there likely will be one late in the year. Now we're hoping to get all these things released. That's assuming that everything, we're not hindered by something or something unexpected happens. But that's our plan for now, to have all the regular sets and those special releases. Let's talk quickly about Play Now. We will be having a Fury Football 2021 update coming in March. It will not be an expansion set, but rather it'll be an update set. We'll be a small set, about 63 cards in the set. Each team will have 1 to 3 new carded players. Some of them will be rookies. Some of them will be players that they've acquired as free agents from other teams. I have on good authority that the Nashville Twang are going down. They may be losing some of their key players to free agency. But the idea is, rather than buying an entire new set of cards, we'll just prepare this supplemental set that you can then add to your existing set of Fury Football cards. And then the teams will be different, just by adding 1 or 2 or 3 players for each. We'll also have a set of Super Rookies. I believe it'll be a subset of 9 Super Rookies, which will not be assigned to a specific team. You can put them on any team. You can have a draft, or you can make a new team out of them with some other players, but that'll be up to you. So a new Fury Football update coming in March. We expect to have a Big Fury 6 revisit series for the play space to kind of bring that to the fore. That will likely happen once the set is released in March. Also for Play Now, we're going to have the printed version of Highlight, the box version. We originally were going to put Highlight in a tin, but we had such a great response to it over Christmas. I mean, people just really, we got a lot of really good feedback about it. So we decided, what the heck, let's make it a boxed game. So it'll be the PDF edition. I don't think we're anticipating making any changes to the basic graphics of the game. The look of the game will be the same, but it'll have a box and a board and all the stuff, and it will, the dice and tokens and things, and will be offered as a boxed game on Play Now. That is scheduled for May. Also, we talked about the moving Roller Rumble to Play Now. That is going to happen sometime this year. I don't have a specific time for that. We're going to redo it. Of course, the current version of Roller Rumble looks very vintage. It's designed to kind of, evoke the sense of the 1960s, the golden era of Roller Rumble. We're gonna kind of fast forward into the 21st century, so it'll look and feel a lot like current modern flat track roller derby. However, the game will play exactly the same. So part of the problem with flat track roller derby, the contemporary version, is it doesn't really play that well. It's played on a flat floor, and the rules are such that they're kind of constantly in flux. You've got a handful of teams that, the scoring is kind of wacko. There are a handful of teams that kind of dominate, and you might have a score of like 543 to 8, games like that. So, we're not going to try to recreate that. We're going to keep the same game. The Roller Rumble game is awesome. And he's one of the undiscovered, unappreciated or underappreciated, gems in the Play catalog. The game is awesome, and so we're going to leave the game the same. We're just going to reskin it so it looks more contemporary, and that will happen later this year on Play Now. Also, we're going to release Dodgeball. We've been talking about Dodgeball for a few years now, and it is I think I'm trying to remember. I believe we talked about it in a Game Lab episode. I won't go into it here. We may revisit it, do a little segment on it prior to us really, putting it out. But basically the premise is, what if Dodgeball was organized like the WWE, where you had storylines and heels and faces and drama. So we've added the face of the mat storyline element, but it's in a dodgeball context where teams are playing the show moves from city to city. You play all the teams play each other. You have like a little mini tournament in each city, and all the storyline stuff develops. So we'll talk about that later. But Dodgeball is coming to Play Now in 2021. Let's talk about the YouTube channel since we're watching it right now. We're going to switch our Tuesday night streams. We've been doing Tuesdays and Thursdays. We're going to switch the Tuesday night streams to Monday night. So they'll give us a little bit more space in between streams. So we'll do Mondays and Thursdays. Our first Monday night stream will be next Monday. We're going to do the StarCross 300 version 21. This is something I really wanted to do last year. I don't know how many times I said, I really want to do the StarCross 300. If you remember the original StarCross 300, it's basically a collection of about 50 NASCAR drivers from all eras who never won a race their entire career. They went their entire career and never won a race. So we made cards for all of them and put them on the track, and somebody's got to win, right? So we had a winner in our first race, and it was so much fun that I thought we got to give somebody else a chance. So we'll do the StarCross 300 again, version 2. I don't even recall offhand who won the first one. It's on the Facebook page somewhere. People were posting about it, but we'll probably take that person out and just go with people who haven't won. So that's going to be our first Monday night stream of the new year, and that'll be next Monday night. Not going to go over the whole YouTube channel schedule. A lot of it's not set anyway, but we have been looking at what programs, what content gets the most views, and we're going to try to create more content along those lines. So one of the things that people always gets great views, people always want to watch, is the Game Lab segments. So we have a Game Lab episode scheduled for Thursday the 21st of January, and we'll show you kind of what we've been working on. We may include dodgeball in that, so you just get a fresh look at what dodgeball looks like. But it'll be a lightning round format. We'll spend 10 minutes looking at the different games. We'll put a big pile of boxes and show you some of the ideas that we're kicking around. Some of them are pretty rudimentary at this point, but they're still fun to talk about and kind of get feedback and show you where our heads are at with the new game ideas. So the lightning round is scheduled for the 21st. We'll also have our annual big game pre-play. You know which game I'm talking about. I can't legally use that name in a stream, but I'm hoping it's going to be the Saints and the Browns, but not holding my breath on that. So we'll have the big game pre-play on the 28th. It'll be a little bit earlier this year because the Thursday night before the big game, the real big game, we're going to have our website our new website tour. We'll talk about the website here in just a second. So we get the big game pre-play on the 28th. We have the annual Scram season kickoff race, the Ice Brew 600 from the Northern Lights Motordome coming up in February. And as I mentioned, the Big Fury 6 Part 2 coming up in March on the Monday night play space. Let's talk about the new website. I mentioned that in the newsletter, the year-end newsletter, the look ahead to 21. We are going to have a new website that we're going to be launching. We're going to launch it the weekend of the big game. We will give you a tour of that on the Thursday night prior to launching it on Friday, which I believe is I want to say the 5th. I think it's Friday the 5th. I think sounds right. Friday the 5th will be the launch of the new site. We'll have a tour Thursday night the 4th on the Play space. The new site, it's going to be a new site. It's going to be a different site. It's going to be called playclassic.com. So we'll have playnow.com and playclassic.com. Play.com, the mothership, so to speak, will serve as the portal to those two different distinct websites. So play.com will have, essentially, we'll have a front page that will let you click on Play Now or Play Classic. And the new site is going to be state-of-the-art. If you've seen the Play Now site, that's kind of it's the same software, the same app as the Play Now site uses will now be used for Play Classic. And there are a lot of good things about that. Before I get to that, though, I'll just say we're going to keep Play.com active and live. So it'll be. I like to tell people it's going to be kind of like a museum, sort of. It'll be all the current content will remain housed on there. You'll be able to browse the newsletter articles and click on the free stuff. That's not going anywhere. All that stuff will still be there on Play.com where it always has been. But when you want to check out, purchase, all the e-commerce activities will be handled on the new site. And once you're there, you'll see that we'll be duplicating a lot of the same stuff. So eventually we'll have all the newsletter articles and all the free stuff on the new site. But for the time being, there'll be a transition period. I'm thinking it'll be about a year where we'll have duplicate content on both play.com and playclassic.com. Eventually, play.com will probably keep some of the pages active, just as sort of a museum type thing. But the bulk of I would think a year from now, people will just be going directly to playclassic.com or play.com. But there will be an interim time. Nothing's going to happen overnight. We'll keep all the content active. However, if you're shopping on play.com and you want to buy the football game and you click the Order Now button, it is going to take you to the Play Classic site. It'll redirect you to the Play Classic site. You'll be able to conduct your business there. We'll use the Squarespace e-commerce portal or module, which has a lot of benefits. First of all, there'll be instant PDF downloads. So just like on Play Now, it'll be the same on Play Classic. You buy a PDF, you'll get a link and you'll download it instantly. You don't have to wait for me to wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning to send you your PDF by email, and it won't get sent to your spam folder. And all those things will be bypassed once we get this new e-commerce module up and running. We'll also be able to send confirmation emails when packages are sent. Right now we will do that, but it's kind of clunky for us to do that. We only do that if somebody asks for like a tracking number. We're happy to provide it, but it's not integrated right now. It's a separate, very archaic system. But once we get to this new e-commerce module, it'll just be a matter of clicking a button, and you'll get an email saying your order is shipped, just like every other 21st century e-commerce outfit does it. So that is another benefit of going to this new system. The downside is that a couple games are going to have to go away. Well, I guess they don't have to, but I think they've reached their time. We already talked about Roller Rumble. Roller Rumble is, you'd be surprised how many people don't even know about the original roller derby. When you talk to somebody who's under the age of 40 about roller derby, they've got no clue that people used to skate on a banked track and wear helmets and pack out the Cow Palace in San Francisco. They get no clue about any of that. So I think it's time to reskin it in a new packaging. So I'm really excited about that. I'm not so excited about the fact that Lacrosse Blast is going to go away, and I did allude to that. I mentioned that in the year-ender article for the newsletter. I don't think the problem's with the game. Frankly, Lacrosse Blast is one of my favorite games to play. But, we're just not seeing the interest. And it's not, nobody's pointing fingers at the board game, sports board gamers. The fact is, professional lacrosse is in decline, it seems. The attendance is going down. I don't know what's wrong with it. I know when I made my first original lacrosse game back in 2003, Crash and Scramble, my thought then, and I was just discovering indoor lacrosse, which had been around at that point for maybe 15 years. And I'm thinking, man, this is the sport of the future. It's fast, it's fun, it's exciting. It's colorful. I really felt like at that time that it was going to be knocking on the door of the big four and become the next major sport. It just for whatever reason, just hasn't happened. So, we're going to retire it, and people can continue to play it, and I hope they will. I know I'll get it out. And there's a chance that we'll bring it back like at Christmas time for the holiday sale, just kind of like we used to do with Demo Derby Smashdown. But Lacrosse Blast is going away as of February 7th. We do have about 10 copies of the game remaining, so if you'd like to pick it up before it gets retired, you can still purchase it on the Play website. Now let's talk about boxes. When we launch the new website, you are going to see new boxes for the Play games. Let me first of all, I'm going to show you the boxes. You're going to love them, I think. Let me explain. We buy our boxes in bulk. We order them a couple years supply at a time in order to get in. They won't print fewer than the minimum run is like 1,000. So we have to buy a couple years in advance. And we talked about doing new boxes a couple years ago. But at that time we thought, we just don't want to go there. But now it came time to reorder again. We're down to our last box of boxes. And we could see that coming back really back in October. And so we decided, okay, are we going to do it or not? So we decided to go ahead and do the new boxes. We are going to, well, let me just show you the boxes. You'll see what I'm talking about. We'll start with the second season box. We'll go to the game cam. This is going to be the new box for second season. It's going to be a lot like the Play Now box in that the inner box, it's a sleeved box, as you can see. The inner box looks like this, and it's empty right now, but we'll open up like this. These are the same size roughly as the current boxes. They're a little bit taller and a little bit larger. I mean, I know it's difficult sometimes to see on a TV camera what the relative size is. They're not as big as the 20th anniversary boxes. They are smaller than that, but they're bigger than the current boxes. You can see they're have more depth to them. And as you can also see, they have side panels. The two things that we learned about the old boxes, first of all, I feel like the new boxes have served us, the old boxes, which were new at one time, have served us really well for the past 5 years. If some of you who are veterans can remember the old days of the pop-up boxes with the stick-on labels, and they come in a flat like a rack hanger, I thought those were okay. But when we got our new boxes in 2015 with the two-piece boxes, I thought those are spectacular, and I really feel like they've served us well. However, over the years we've heard two things. People want to have the side panels. They want to stack the games on the shelf and know what game it is from looking at the side. We tried to fix that by offering some stick-on side labels, but let's face it, it's kind of a temporary fix, kind of a workaround. So the other thing people talked about was they wanted a little more game space in the box to put like more and more seasons. So these game boxes are thicker by about a half inch, and they also have the side panels. So they look really great on your table. I'm going to give you a quick tour. Let me move my LaCroix. I can't have a play space without LaCroix, right? So I'm just going to give you the quick tour of the boxes. Here's second season, and you'll see some new graphics here on some of these. Here's Hockey Blast. I'll give you a look at the side. There's the side. The backs will look like this. There's Hockey Blast. Not going to spend a lot of time. Here is History Maker Baseball. Here is Face of the Mat. That's going to look at Face of the Mat. It basically got a facelift last year anyway, so there's not a lot of changes with Face of the Mat, but it does have a wraparound box label now. This is going to fall off here. You want to grab these and take those up, okay? These are in no particular order. Here's Golf. Again, these are very familiar, and there's a method to our madness. We didn't change the graphics because the games that are going to go inside these boxes are going to be exactly the same as what is currently available. The games are being unchanged. So we designed the boxes so as to coordinate with the existing game materials. Here's the new Bolorama box. A little bit different than color, a little bit different color scheme. It's got that marbled blue thing, but basically the purple and gold of the original game. You're gonna love this. Here's the new Cold Snap box. Super great. We got a more updated player there. We have Halifax along the front of his jersey, just to nod to Touchdown Atlantic. Here's the new Soccer Blast box. Again, there's your sleeve, your back, and everything like that. And again, all these have the same common interior. And finally, here's Red, White, and Blue Racing. Love the Red, White, and Blue Racing. It goes from a black theme to more of the gold. Uses the gold. But again, it's the same, the same graphics and everything. The board games and everything that goes inside these games will be exactly the same. Oh, where did hand me my script? I lost my notes here. So those are the game boxes. There will be a price increase for these boxes to incorporate them, and really the price increase is not tied to the boxes. Although these boxes are a little bit more expensive and would probably have had to be a price increase in that just for that alone. But the reality is, all of our stuff's getting more expensive, particularly the shipping. Most of the things we use to make our games, we have to buy from somewhere else and have it shipped to us, and we've really noticed a dramatic increase in the cost of shipping stuff. So and then of course you have to ship it out, and is getting more expensive too. So there will be a price increase for the new games. It will be between $5 and $10 per game. $10 for the games that have game books. Anything that's got basically football and hockey and golf and anything that's got a coil-bound game book. We'll see probably a $10 increase, and the other games will see a $5 increase. So we felt like, gosh, by showing these boxes, there might be people that are going to hold off and wait till the new boxes, but there also may be people who would like to save some money and buy the current versions of the game, because again, the games themselves will be completely unchanged. If you have any questions about the boxes, just give us an email. Shoot us an email. We're happy to discuss that with you. info@play.com. Let's move on to the newsletter. Mentioned in the last newsletter, the year-end newsletter, that was going to be the last newsletter. In fact, originally the title of the email was going to be The Last Newsletter from Play Games. I remember when I was in radio, sometimes stations would do that when they were going to change format. They'd switch to an oldies format, So it was like maybe they were playing, they're a country station or a top 40 station, weren't doing very well in the ratings. One of the tried and true marketing gambits was to start announcing on January 1st, KBFW will become a thing of the past. And so everybody get all excited about that. They're like, what? And then, of course, they become a thing of the past. They play oldies on January 1st. So, I thought about doing that in the title, the last Play Games newsletter. But then I thought, I don't need to bring more aggravation onto people. So it is technically the last newsletter. We are going to continue to have a monthly mailing. We're going to continue the pings on the last Monday of the month. But that'll be mainly to give you links to whatever content we've created during the month, and also the free stuff. We'll continue to do the free stuff and links to the videos. We are going to continue to do content. In fact, we intend to do even more content in 2021 than we did in 2020, and we did a lot of content in 2020. The idea, though, is that newsletters in general, just from researching industry, standards and industry, trends. The concept of an emailed newsletter is kind of becoming a little passé. If you think about it, you might get newsletters from other companies and stuff, and it's just kind of like, delete. I'm not going to read that. And we're seeing that happening with ours. We get pretty comprehensive statistics in terms of how many opens, how many we send, how many are opened. Of those that are open, how many are engaged, and it's just getting less. It's just getting lower and lower, and I think that's probably more a statement on newsletters in general. So we're going to switch to like a blog style format where we will just update. We'll create content kind of on the fly, and post it, and then link to it. We'll say, hey, just wrote an article about such and such, or James Cass just sent us this great report on his Fury Hardball League with analytics. We just posted it. Right now, the way it works is since we went back to a quarterly newsletter, if somebody's got a great piece of content they want to share, or maybe a story of something they've done, it would have to wait for a newsletter. And if you send it, if the newsletter just came out, we'd have to wait 2-3 months to be able to post it. Now we'll have a little bit more flexibility. We'll be able to immediately present fresh content and do it regularly instead of once a month. The idea is to do it weekly or more often, perhaps, and be able to just link people to fresh content and get it engaged with our group. This is probably not going to happen quickly. Right now, our main focus is getting the website up, the new website up and running and functional, and get all the bugs worked out of it. And so we will probably not be doing a lot of blog stuff. We'll have a ping at the end of January. We will have a ping at the end of February. We'll have a ping at the end of March. Sometime between those two pings, we will probably begin to start posting blog content on the new Play Classic site. That's where that content will be found. We will probably port over some of the more popular newsletter articles that are currently linked. If you go to the current page and you click on the newsletter link on the front page, it'll take you to a page that has a big long list of newsletter articles, and we'll probably port those over to Play Classic, and you'll be able to just find them. There'll be a nice graphic image, and you'll be able to find them much more easily. You may even be able to search for them. I'm not sure. But don't expect that. I get my point in bringing all this up is don't expect that to happen tomorrow. That will happen probably sometime in March, maybe even April. But where we really begin to kick in with the blog content. So that brings us to our last thing, and that is the convention. We are talking about doing PLAAY.con 2021 in August, first weekend of August. We'd like to hold a live event, and we're all hopeful. I know I'm not alone in hoping that the masks are going to come off and the distancing is going to go away in 2021, but it's not a given. Excuse me. And so it's impossible to plan for. We're not able to. It wouldn't be smart to book a hotel room, hotel conference area, and get all the stuff set up for a convention now in hopes that things will be cleared up in August. Even though I think there's a chance they may be. So the other thing is it takes minimum 90 days of planning to put together a convention. And also, we've discovered that we've really, through experience, learned that most people are freest in the summertime. Doing a convention in October, probably not a good idea. Doing conventions in February, probably not a good idea. Best time to do a convention is in the summer. So we've got a 90-day window, and summer is the optimum time. That means basically we've got 90 days prior to August 1 to make our decision, which kind of takes us back to, I guess, roughly May 1. So we're going to revisit this end of March, see how things are looking, and if we feel like there's some potential for a live convention, we'll probably hold off for another 30 days and make that decision in May. If it's clear in March that it's not going to happen, we will switch gears and do a virtual convention. Either way, we will have PLAAY.con 2021 in August. If we do a live convention, we will include a virtual component. I think one of the maybe the best thing about 2020 was PLAAY.con and all the engagement we got. We had literally a couple of hundred people participating on the Saturday with the Time Machine tournament and the golf tournament. It was just a lot of fun, and we got a lot of great feedback and made some great connections and heard from so many people. I mean, we on our second day with the Discord server, we had people from 7 different countries all over the world. We're all playing games together. On the server, on the Discord server, we had Italy and Scotland and the UK and Canada. It was awesome. So we definitely want to do that again. So whether we do a live convention or not, we will have a virtual component to a live convention, or it'll be all virtual. But either way, we are planning on PLAAY.con 2021 happening in August. So that's a lot of stuff to cover, and that brings us to the end of the program. Thanks a lot for watching. Hope you are excited as we are about what's coming up in the new year, and will join with us and make this a best ever year for Play Games in 2021. If you have any questions, as I mentioned, just shoot us an email. info@play.com is the best email address, and we'll get back to you just as quick as we can. So thanks a lot for watching. Thanks again for being the best community in the sports game hobby. Maybe just the best community, period. It's such a great community. We just love each of you and all of you, and are so appreciative of you being part of our little family. So thanks again for watching. Have a great night, and we will see you again Monday nights for the Star-Crossed 300 Red, White, and Blue Racing here on the PlaySpace Monday night stream.